Coach, talk about spring ball. It's here again. A little different circumstances this time around. You've had time now to analyze more than being kind of thrown into a situation. But now you step in this year, and how are things looking? Assess where you think you're at compared to last year.
Well, we're much further ahead right now than we were last year, for sure. When we came into this offseason, we really wanted to emphasize 4 characteristics to get better at. Our mental toughness, our confidence, our discipline, and our accountability. So we've been emphasizing that every single day, whether it be in the weight room, our conditioning, goal setting, our academic performance, whatever it might be, those 4 things we've pounded into our guys' minds every single day. And our kids have done a fantastic job. So our team right now, I feel like we're much better off physically. We're stronger, we're faster. Our weights are at a better level. We're more explosive. So everything that we wanted to do, for the most part, we've been able to get done. We still have some areas we're working on, but we've definitely made a lot of progress. We're excited to get out there for spring football today and have our first practice. Our kids are ready. We're excited as coaches. Everyone just wants to get out there and start playing football and coaching football, and that's what we're going to do today.
Tyler, I think every coach when they go into spring ball really has kind of a different, or their own philosophy of what they want to accomplish during the spring ball. What is your philosophy as you head into this, to the spring ball? What do you want to get accomplished in the next 15 practices?
Well, I think the first thing is we want to get fundamentally sound. So that goes on a couple of different levels. One, just a player just individually improving his technique and the work that he needs to do to get better at his position. Fundamentals as it relates to maybe 2 guys working as a pair, maybe 2 offensive linemen working in combo blocks, communication, across the field, and then ultimately getting all 11 guys doing what they need to do on a given play. So all those fundamentals and how that relates to our overall scheme is really, really important. Now the other thing is developing depth. One thing that we talk about in terms of depth is we want to find one guy that can maybe play 2 or 3 different positions. And so if you have an injury, that guy's able to slide over and fill that spot. And so we don't have any drop-off anytime a player's out for whatever reason. And so, again, those fundamentals, developing our depth, those 2 things are really important. And then ultimately, by the time we get to the end of spring, is that our playbook knowledge for our players, that we're really sharp. We know the answers to the problems that a team will pose for us, and that we can answer those things really crisp, really clearly. And then finally, just the spring. I mean, this is a great time of year to play football. I want our guys to be excited about it, love this opportunity because it is a great opportunity. We want to make the most of it.
What kind of numbers are you going to have?
We'll take practice field each day with about 60 kids. So we're a little bit lower than where we want to be, long term. We've built it up from last spring, but our kids that are here, they're bought in, they're ready to go, they're physically able, and they're going to get a lot of reps, which is great.
And then earlier you said that there's certain weaknesses, but kind of moving in, you probably know what your guys' main strengths are and also what your weaknesses are, things you want to pound out this spring. So can you kind of go over the different strengths areas that you think you guys are a little better off in, and then what specifically you guys really need to hammer out?
Well, I think one thing that's good for us right now is we have a large number of players that played for us last season. We were a very young team, inexperienced going into last season, but we had a lot of guys that earned and had a lot of playing time. So in that light, it's nice because as a coach, I'm talking to the same guys I was talking to in the fall. So there's some carryover in terms of the communication and the understanding from what I want, from what they need to know, I mean, all those things. So that's definitely a strength. In terms of opportunities that we need to be working on, while we had a lot of playing time, guys were in some ways kind of thrust into the action maybe before they were ready, just because of our circumstances. So we've got to get them confident on the field. We had talked about getting them confident in the off season with the weight training and the speed and all those kind of things. But we got to get them confident on the field, and how they do that is working really, really hard at the fundamentals. You can't borrow that. You can't steal confidence. You got to earn it. So they got to work hard on the field and know what they need to be doing. Ask questions of the coaches. Work together as teammates. Those are the kind of things we need to be working on in spring.
Tyler, you talk about the familiarity that a lot of your kids have now because they have spent a year with you, but also you've had a chance as a coaching staff to really kind of come together too, because I think a lot of you guys didn't know each other when you came here last year, so that helps you going into spring ball as well.
Yeah, we've had a lot of great discussion as coaches, in staff meetings, just bouncing ideas off one another. All of our coaches are are good coaches and they have different experiences. So I've really tried to basically get as much feedback from them as I possibly can and utilize their knowledge and their expertise, which is very good. And so yes, as coaches, we're a year down the line, which is helpful. We communicate quicker and more clearly with one another because we know how one another works. And so we've made a lot of progress in that area as well.
Has there been one side of the ball, the other, or special teams where you made it a priority, new players coming in, areas you wanted to address or concern at all? Or?
I think for us, we just needed to improve the overall makeup of the entire roster. Every position had some needs and some things that we needed to improve on. Maybe that was, additional depth. Maybe that was our athleticism of that position. Maybe it was our strength. Maybe it was, a variety of other issues, I suppose. So I don't think we had one specific focus on a position necessarily, but ultimately what we wanted to do this offseason was make sure that we increase our total number of players in our program by way of recruiting, and then also develop, I keep talking about that mental toughness and that confidence, develop that within our program so when these new kids come in, come summertime and fall camp, that our players that are currently here have established a culture of this is how Minot State football looks like, this is how we work, this is our attitude, and that standard is very, very high, and guys live up to that.
Yeah, and then you said that you lost players at every position. I agree, with Burrell offense and then Freed and then linemen's not returning. So are you looking for younger players to step into those positions, as you said, develop more confidence? Or then I know you just recruited Tally and you probably have other recruits coming in. Are you recruiting JC guys to fill those roles, or do you want the younger guys to step into those positions?
Well, we'll recruit junior college players, but ultimately I want to build this program through high school players so we can develop them all the way through from their freshman to senior season. So just philosophically, that's something that we want to get done. I'm a big believer in player development, and I'm also a big believer in the football life. So, eventually we'll have guys that will graduate and move on, and we need to have somebody to be ready to step up and to fill that role. And so I want to have the type of program where we don't ever feel like we're rebuilding, but we're reloading, so to speak. And that's where we need to get to. I think we've taken some steps that way this year. We've got a long ways to go to say that we're reloading, but that's where we need to be. That's what our mentality needs to be as players and coaches. And so when great players graduate and move on, and hopefully we'll have a bunch of those guys graduate and be great players for us, then there's a new set of guys coming in to fill those roles in their proper place and time.
Yeah, probably coming in the middle, you don't really get to build those players, so that's probably why this year you're looking at more JC guys versus freshman guys recruiting, just because of where you're at.
Well, we signed a number of JC players, but we've signed about 40 high school kids too, and so still the majority, about 80% of our recruiting class this year is high school related, and about 20% is junior college. So again, our emphasis still has been high school, but yeah, we have had to address a few needs with junior college players.
Tyler, I know you've been around your players in the weight room during the off-season, their off-season workouts. What kind of attitude are you getting from them? Coming off last year, it was a tough year. What are you seeing your kids? Do you see that attitude where they're ready to go and they're ready to take that next step?
Yeah, nobody wants to feel the way that we felt last year ever again. I certainly don't. It's just not normal to feel that way. We don't want that. We don't want that to be a part of our culture, our attitude. Nothing. I want nothing to do with that. Neither do these players. And so these guys, in terms of the off season, we've had a great strength and conditioning program. Chris Brunkhorst is our strength coach. He's done a fantastic job that way. Our kids have had to really commit themselves to lift hard and to be pushed. Now that's one thing that you tell a kid. You say, listen, if you want to be a great player, you got to let me push you harder than you think you can go. And if they're willing to allow us to do that as coaches and let us really coach them, they can develop into great players. But if they give you pushback, like, coach, I don't want to work that hard. I don't want to go down that line. Then you can't reach your potential. So this group, I feel, is allowing us to push them about as hard as we can push.
Have you guys set any goals yet? I know it's probably just get better, but have you specifically pushed, one thing in the locker room, or is it just get better, work hard at this point?
Well, yeah, individually our players have had a goal-setting log that they have to turn into us as coaches every week. So everyone has their own individual goals. Maybe that's something in relation to their speed or their strength. Maybe it's in terms of their GPA. Maybe it's something like I want to call home once a week and stay in touch with family. We've been working with our guys on individual goal setting all offseason. That's been a huge part of what we've been doing. Again, collectively as a program, I've pushed mental toughness, discipline, confidence, accountability over and over and over again. Those are the 4 areas that we have been working on collectively as a program, and our kids have bought into that, and that all ties into their individual work and goal setting, throughout this first part of the off season.
Overall, as your team, do you feel it's bigger or faster than last year, or was that something you were trying to accomplish maybe?
Yep. Yes, we were trying to accomplish that, and yes, we are those things. We just tested a couple of days ago in the weight room and some agility and some explosive tests, and we're significantly ahead from where we were, say, last fall, when I really had everybody here for the first time. We're much further ahead now. Our strength gains, we, as a team, we maxed out and lifted over 50,000 pounds, as a team. That's a lot of weight that we're moving. And we have 3 major lifts: power, clean, bench, squat. All those went up by almost 7 to 10% on average for every individual player. So that is good evidence that we're getting stronger. We've been monitoring their weights, their body composition. We've had like a 4-week goal for them to be at in those areas throughout the off season. So we have been demanding and pushing increased physical performance, and our kids, as I told them earlier today, we couldn't have done that if they weren't willing to let us push them. But they wanted to do it. They wanted us to push them, and they've done the job. So I'm proud of them, and we're excited to get them out on the field and let them tear it up a little bit out there.
Coach Thomas, being a former head coach temporarily, you know about this team a little bit, building it up. Of course, now you've got a full year behind you, and Coach Hughes stepping in. Your assessment of where you are now compared to a year ago?
Oh man, it's light years. By the time Coach Hughes got here, we've been on the right track. Sometimes it takes a little while to continue to be on that path and all that good stuff, but he's done a tremendous job of getting his team prepared for this spring. And what we've done in that weight room with Coach Brunkhorst, the guys have kind of come together and really built themselves up to be a better football team, more physically, as we're stronger, faster, and bigger than we were last year.
Byron, when you came in here, but towards the end of the year, your defense was doing a lot of nice things, but you need to improve in a lot of different areas. Where is the biggest improvements going to have to come from your defense to take that next step?
Well, we finished 10th in the conference in total defense, and in a lot of other statistics, we fell short, being in the bottom half in the conference. For us right now, our main focus is just fundamental football. We want to be sure tacklers. We want to make sure we're assignment sound, gap sound, and just be structured off our base defense and make sure all of our guys understand what's going on each play.
And then what do you feel is the biggest need, I guess, on defense? I know that you lost some big players for you guys with Freed and then Wyman not returning. So
Right.
Do you feel like that's the biggest focus is filling those holes? Or
Yeah, those guys will be hard to replace. Casey Wyman and Levi Freed, they're definitely going to be hard to replace. But it's somebody else's turn. Somebody else has to step up and make those plays. So, like we find out every year, there's going to be somebody that comes in and contributes, and is going to be that guy for us. So I'm excited about that opportunity here this spring to figure out who that will be.
And to have this spring, and I know you don't have all your high school kids in here for the spring, but some of the transfers that you got in gives you a time to kind of assess where they're at and where they might fit into the defense the best possible way.
Yeah, we actually picked up a few big-time transfer guys that come in, junior college kids, Lonnie Fanua, Trevin Swinson from Snow College, Leroy Green from Fresno City College. Those guys can come in and make an immediate impact for us on the defense, and I'm extremely fortunate and excited to have them here on this team.
With new players, does your defensive scheme change at all, or what do you?
No, we'll still be the same. The defense we run will be the defense we run until Coach Hughes fires me.
Clay, we're not going to forget about you. Let's move to the offensive side of the ball.
Okay.
Clay, you work with the wide receivers, but I think you work pretty close with Coach Hughes on the whole scheme of the offense. As you come into this spring ball, where do you think is the biggest need offensively to find more balance?
The biggest thing we need to do is be better with our run game and consistently running the football and maintaining those types of things, and then getting through third down and keeping the chains moving. So we spent a lot of time, me, Coach Hughes, Coach Popovich, we restructured a lot of things, the way we communicate on offense about how we even look at the defense and things like that, and making sure our combinations are going to the right spot and all those types of things to make sure we can effectively run the football, get into some better situations to make third down more manageable and convert more and keep those chains moving. So just being able to communicate the offense more efficiently and all those types of things has been a big focus for us this spring so far.
As a receiver coach, you lose Glenn, but you turn Wayne. That's got to be nice to have a deep threat. Do you feel you've got receivers that can get down the field and get beyond that defense?
Yeah, we have a redshirt freshman this spring. His name's Cameron Wilson, so he'll be a redshirt freshman this fall. We feel like he's got a lot of speed and he's going to get a lot of opportunity to show what he can do to take the top off the defense. He's probably going to be our most dynamic speed guy that will be getting into the mix. Porter Sturm will be our senior at wide receiver. He's played a lot of years here, and he's a tough kid, and he doesn't have 4.4 speed, but he knows how to get on someone's toes and stretch the field as well and make big plays down the field. So Cameron's going to be that younger guy that's going to do that, and I expect Porter to do a lot of those types of things as well.
And then going in, what do you feel is the biggest, question mark going into spring? Because it's going to be, you also lost Ladeau, and so is it going to be who's going to step up, or is it going to be, are you guys going to run versus throw more, or what's going to be the biggest question mark that you're looking forward to finding out this spring?
The biggest question mark is going to be finding the balance between all of it, because we're not going to be a throw-heavy team or a run-heavy team. We want to be able to balance it all up and do those types of things. So last fall, when we weren't able to consistently run the football and you're forced to throw all the time, that makes it easier on defenses. So the biggest thing for us is to shore up that 50-50 and make sure with Coach Popovich that we're taking care of the box in the run and pass and those types of things. That's what we spend a lot of time on, is making sure that up front is sound so the quarterback can throw the ball, and all of our combinations within the box are sound so that we can run the ball effectively too. So the balance is going to be the most important thing.
Clay, how excited are you to get out there this afternoon? End of the year, you go through the recruiting and all that, and the off-season workouts, but this has got to be a special day for not just the players, but you guys as coaches too.
Yeah, absolutely. Fall ended back in November, and ever since then it's been nothing but recruiting to get the guys we signed, and we've been spending a lot of time in the office just revamping and making sure our verbiage in the offense is sound. So I'm somebody who doesn't like to be in the office all day, so actually getting out on the field is something I'm really excited to do, and get yelling at guys and making sure we're running all over the place and having a good time, because that's what it's all about.
Byron, I want to ask you a question, because you were one kind of took over in the interim after what happened last year. And I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Tyler, is the familiarity that you have as a coaching staff, because I don't think any of you guys knew each other or knew really what your philosophy or personality.
Right.
It's got to be 100%, a 360-degree turn going into this spring.
Again, as a program, we're light years ahead of where we were last year at this time. Light years. And having a whole year being with Coach Hughes and this staff, we've grown. The chemistry on this team and the coaching staff is done a whole another. It's took it to a whole nother level. And again, I just can't tell you how great of a job Coach Hughes has done here at Minot State.
And then do you have any concerns maybe on the linebacker position with losing a coach? And then, I guess that's just one coaching change instead of a complete staff. But what are your thoughts on the linebacker position with the coaching?
Just like if it was a player, we're just going to keep rolling. The train doesn't stop. We're just going to keep going, and I'll rotate down and handle the linebackers this spring ball and potentially during the season. And we got a great GA that helps us out right now in the secondary, so we'll be fine that way. But I got a mature group, great guys in that linebacker core, so I'm excited about the future for those guys.
Start with you, Logan. As you look to starting spring ball this spring as compared to last spring, it's got to be a whole different type of atmosphere as you move into spring ball this year. Now with Coach Hughes and the coaching staff here all intact, you just got to be excited about getting out there without all the other distractions.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We've had a great off season with all the coaches, and they've had a great plan for us, and so we've been able to buy into the program now because we've had the same coaches for a while, and so it's been fun having coaches that are going to stay and that are putting their time in as well. And so we've just gotten better, so much better as a team. It's very exciting.
Marcel, I think some of the same thoughts.
Oh yeah, same thing. We're all very excited. We all feel more of a team, more of a family. It's just different having a coaching staff there for the whole year because it's just more consistent and you just get used to everyone. No one wants to go through coaching changes. Not having anything consistent kind of sucks.
Marcel, being that you've worked now, had the off-season workouts and spring ball coming, as you look at, you've been around this program long enough, do you think this football team right now is better than they were even at the end of the fall, season last year?
Yes, sir. I definitely think we were more ready than last season. Everyone's more fired up. Everyone's improving in the weight room. Everyone's body fat composition is going down. Everyone's getting quicker and faster. Like today, we had a little run through this morning, and everyone's just fired up. Everyone just wants to get on the field already. We still have the same goal, just different mindset, and that's to win a conference championship.
And then sticking with you again, keep you on the hot seat. I know that Coach Hughes said that each person has individual goals, whether it be on or off the field. Can you talk a little bit about some of the goals you've set for yourself?
Oh, yeah, I'm just trying to stay healthy. I've had a lot of ankle issues and hamstring issues, but I'm just trying to complete a season. It's my last one. I'm trying to go out hard. Of course, my goal since I first came here was to be all-conference. I want to be that all-conference player. I want to be able to help out the team as much as possible and just win some games.
Yeah, and Logan, same question for you.
Yeah, we set personal goals with our O-line coach. We met with him, and we set different strength goals as far as how we tested in January to how we tested now. We wanted to get my strength up by about 150 pounds in all of my core lifts, or between the 3 core lifts. And then we set academic goals for our midterm GPAs and things like that. And so we just had different ways of reaching those goals, whether it was keeping a food log with our O-line coach so we would lose our body fat, and then keeping up with our academics and checking our calendars and everything like that. And so far we've reached all my goals I set, so we're just going to set some new goals here in the spring.
Logan, you got a lot of playing time last year as a redshirt freshman. How important was that for you? I think coming through your redshirt year, you probably understood some of the things about the college game, but until you get out there and really start competing against other athletes, you're more prepared going in this year to know what to expect.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. You think you're ready coming out of a redshirt year even, and out of high school you're kind of the big guy, and then you jump into this conference especially, and you're not. I was a little guy, and so it kind of set the tone for where I needed to be this off season. I need to get so much stronger, and I needed to get more fit and quicker just to be able to compete. And so now, just looking back, me and our O-line coach were talking, and we think right now we feel like we could beat our team from last fall and not having a practice right now. We just feel that much better about ourselves.
One of the more veteran areas on the offensive side of the ball is at the offensive line, and I would think that you guys, as an offensive line, the group knows what they need to do and their goals. That we want to get better offensively and be able to be more balanced coming in the fall.
Yeah, we've had many conversations with our whole line, and we feel a lot more confident coming into the season, or coming into the spring at least. We know that how the offensive line goes is how the offense is going to go. So we've kind of taken it upon ourselves to try and be the best group out there every day. And as an O-line, we've accomplished almost all of our goals, and we've dropped body fat, and we've gained weight, so we've gotten stronger. And we've gotten just so much more confident in each other and knowing the playbook and just knowing our responsibilities.